Hey guys, TheRick here, bringing you another video. It's one-on-one time with TheRick, and today we have a very special guest. He's none other than Dustin of Dustin's Fish Tanks, and is no doubt the most requested one-on-one of all time. So let's get started with the first question. Now Dustin, you preach dirt, you use it in your tanks. I want to know is when was the first time you started using it?
It's a good question, man. The first time I ever used dirt in my tanks was like the fall of 2007, about 7 years ago. I was moving my 125 from Florida, which I had to plant a tank down there with just Anubias and swords and that kind of stuff. And I got the tank in, and I dirted it, baked the dirt in the oven, the whole thing, and it just went nuts. And I won't set up a display tank without it. I've just had such great results from it. So about 7 years.
Now I asked everyone this, how long have you been in the hobby, and what do you love most about it?
I've been hardcore in the hobby since I was like 14. I had my first tank when I was like 5 though. It was a 10-gallon. I had a goldfish named Doubloon that I remember burying when he died. Not sure how he died, but my father did do 100% water changes. I remember holding the door for him while I took the tank out to the garage to completely dump it, scrub the gravel, and bring it back in and put fresh water in. And the fish survived most of the time with that. So, and then my favorite part about the hobby, I like getting beginners into it. I love seeing people just like go from like no tanks into just a ton of tanks. I think that's hilarious. When I talk to people that have like, you know, I saw your videos of it, just getting in tanks and I've got this many tanks, and they just like, just watching it kind of like spread like a disease to people. That's my favorite part of the hobby, is getting people into, and as far as like the actual hobby itself, I really enjoy like trying new plants and new fish and just kind of like experimenting with new stuff. I mean, even if something dies, like just trying something out and watching new plant growth and what I do to do that, that's been a lot of fun for me. Also designing, I like designing and you know, kind of tweaking with tanks.
Now what does your wife think about all the fish tanks and the yelling that goes on in the house?
I yell all the time in the house, man, actually. I yell all the time. I'm a loud guy. The fish tanks, she doesn't mind them. They're all right. I try to keep them looking decent. The greenhouse helps because I can have a lot of tanks out there. She would like a nicer stand on the tank we have upstairs, debating about doing a 90 rimless. But
now I know you love plants and sell them as well. What I want to know is what's your favorite and least favorite plants?
Oh man, my favorite plant, that's tough. It'd probably be Crenomatans is probably my favorite plant, although Cryptosteriana is pretty close. That's what I'm talking about, that one right there. That's a Crenomatans. That's probably my favorite. My least favorite plant, I can tell you, I don't know if it's dwarf baby tears, dwarf hairgrass, or Java moss. Those three, they just make me mad. Java moss because it gets everywhere. You can put it in your tank and it just like, once it's in there, it's in there. And then dwarf hairgrass and dwarf baby tears, because beginners think they can just get those plants, and then they complain to me that they die when they don't have the proper setup for those that are typically high-tech tanks. So yeah, those are probably my. Also, any plant that's grown above water and then sold to people when it should be grown below water, that's not one of my favorite plants.
Now you recently quit your job to go all in on this. What I want to know is how does it make you feel, and was your wife happy about it?
Wow, 2 questions about my wife, huh? Yeah, I went all in. Look, you know, I had a good gig selling phones. The YouTube channel was taking off. I started to make a little bit of money with it. And you only get one shot at this life. You only get one crack. And so I decided to go all in on it. On August 1st, I quit my job to do it. And I got to tell you, it's been one of the most rewarding things. I mean, like I literally like locked myself in a room and wrote the Dirted Tank Guide. And it was well received. I mean, a lot of people bought it. You know, you can actually buy a link. Thank you for putting a link below your video. You guys can pick up a copy of it, and it's going really well. I'm having fun with it. You know, it makes me really, really happy to do what I love and get support from people. I mean, people like root me on, you know, supporting me with it. So it's been really, really, really rewarding. It's been surprisingly lonely though. I used to be out like selling face to face and all that, so it's a little bit on the lonely side. But overall, I mean, I wouldn't change it. I'm excited about what I'm doing. You know, getting to do what I love every day and kind of like just, you know, building it, and the support of the YouTube channel and the growth I've seen there has been really exciting. And since we're talking about the business side of it, anyone who watches this can get the coupon code below and save a little money on their plants. So, gotta plug it.
Now, I don't use dirt in my tanks, so what I want to know is what's the advantages and disadvantages of using dirt in a planted tank?
Yeah, well, the advantages are you're feeding plants where they eat at their roots, majority of them minus Anubias and, Java fern and that sort of thing. So I've seen just so much incredible plant growth with dirt that I really won't go back. Redder reds, lusher leaves, the whole thing. So those are the advantages. Obviously, the disadvantages, it can make a mess. I mean, a dirted tank gone wrong is, nothing's better than a great dirted tank. Nothing's worse than a dirted tank gone wrong. Ask me how I know this. So the disadvantages would be, of course, when you pull up a plant, there is a chance you're going to get a little dirt up with you, so it is a little harder to move the plants around. You just got to do your water changes while you do it. But the advantages for me way outweigh the disadvantages just by having that, just the root hits the dirt and eats and the plant grows. I mean, people kind of neglect the lower part of the plants, and I think when you neglect the lower part of the plant, the upper part of the plant suffers. So when you feed the plants at their roots in the dirt, you get a lot of better results. So I'm pretty pumped about the dirted tank, in case you couldn't tell.
Are there any plans to travel again and collect fish like when you went to Peru?
Nothing on the books, about going to another place. The Peru trip was amazing. I swam with pink dolphins, which had been a dream since I was like 14. I don't know if anyone's seen that video. That was like one of the most heartfelt things that I've like totally moved, swimming with these dolphins. Life-changing event, really. So I'm actually like quiet in the video, if that means anything. But plans to again. I will be going to Peru again. Margarita Tours, MG Tours, I think is the name they go by now. The guy Devin Graham there was amazing, so I got to plug them. They did an awesome job. I mean, I caught a tiger shovel that was this big, but nothing planned. I got some family stuff to take care of here, but I definitely will be going back. I'd like to go to Southeast Asia as well. I really think there'd be some cool stuff to see there. So, yeah, definitely will be going again, but nothing like set in stone, book trips or anything. I am going to be doing some tank tours around the country, though, where I'm going to be going and visiting aquariums, but we'll figure that out later.
Are there any new plans, projects, or series coming to your channel we can expect to see in the near future?
Yeah, there's some fun stuff going on. I am going to be setting up a bunch of 5 gallons and kind of experimenting with some different plants and growing them at different levels. I'm also in the middle of a series now where I'm just breaking down. It's a probably 5-part series where I'm building up this 40 tall. I'm having a real good time with that. I'm going to start doing more like, series and breakdowns, get a little more in depth with every step of it. I think that's been well received and I've had a lot of fun with that. So, yeah, right now, check out the series I'm doing though, where I'm building that 40 tall. I'm going to be making the 3rd video this weekend.
All right, Dustin, really appreciate this. Really glad that we're able to sit down and finally do a one-on-one.
Yeah, man. No, listen, really appreciate you having me. Sorry it took me so long to get this rolling. Thanks for everybody for checking it out. I think what you're doing for the hobby is good. Connected a bunch of people, Rick. So, appreciate it, man. Tank on. Light.
All right, guys, that's been another one-on-one with TheRick. If you have any suggestions for another one-on-one, please leave it in the comments below. And as always, rate, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.